Today we're going to be dealing with some AC problems on a 2013 Toyota Tacoma. I think everything's the same from like 05 to 15, there's 06 to 15. Somewhere in that range, just body style. So you're just seeing what it does when you crank it up, turn the AC on. After a few seconds, you get that flashing on the AC button, and that indicates there's some kind of error. So I went through and just started checking things. I'm not going to bore you with the whole process. I've already been working on it here and there a little bit, but I'll show you what the problem is and how I got to that conclusion. So this is our new clutch assembly for our AC compressor. The original Toyota one, that was about $120. This is how it comes. All right. How to test your clutch. It's an easy way to do it. Run a jumper wire from the negative battery terminal to the ground wire on the AC compressor. Run a jumper from your positive on the battery to terminal number 1 on the compressor. And if you do that, if it locks in, you know your clutch is good, and you know you got a problem somewhere else. If it doesn't, clutch is bad. And that's the scenario we got, the clutch is bad. So you might say, why don't you just change the whole compressor? Well, if I change the whole compressor, I need to change the dryer, the expansion valve, everything. The system was working great, there's no leaks. I checked the Freon level and it was perfect, exactly where it was supposed to be at. I don't want to open the system up for no reason, really. It's all factory stuff. You know, I definitely wouldn't go aftermarket on a compressor or anything. So if I done it, I would go all factory stuff. But I mean, it works perfect when it does work. So just gonna put a clutch on it. That way I don't have to deal with all that stuff. Deal with refrigerant and all that. So I'm gonna do it. I say I'm gonna attempt, but I know I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get it done. Put a clutch on it while it's on the vehicle. That way we don't have to lose any refrigerant or anything, and we know the system should still work and nothing's been compromised other than the clutch, which doesn't work anyway. I've done the same thing on, we rebuilt the AC on this a few years back, but before that, a couple of years before that, the clutch went out on that one and I changed it with it on the car. It was a pain on that one, but it's still doable. So I hadn't changed one on one of these, but you know, no time like the present, so we'll figure it out. I'll go ahead and I'm gonna get the hood popped. I've already dropped the skid plate from the bottom, that way we'll have access from the bottom, and let's start digging in it. Okay, I pulled the engine cover off because it hung over a little bit, just give me a little more room here. So looking from the top down, hey Mr. Froggy, the compressor is there. Well, right there under the alternator, maybe you can see it from here. We'll get a look from the bottom. So here's the compressor, so that's the clutch. So you can see we've got our breaker bar on, that is the tensioner. So first thing we gotta do is get the belt off, so you can see it loosening up. Just take note of your how your belts are routed. And if your belt is old and cracked, it'd be a good time to change it. This one will go a few more miles, so we'll wait. So next thing I'm going to do is disconnect the wires from the clutch. There you can see, so that'll be disconnecting this ground and disconnecting this positive. And that should pull out of this connector here. Once we do that, we'll start getting it unbolted. Forgot to mention we should, it's a good idea to unhook the battery, negative side of the battery while we're messing with any of this electrical stuff. There we go, just pops out. Okay, so now we'll move on to, looks like that's an 8mm. Of course it's gonna be tight and no way to hold it really. Okay, got the center bolt out. Okay. So as you're taking this stuff off, just try and put everything down the way it came off, so you know how it goes back together. And there are some shims in here, so make sure you keep those together and don't lose any. Okay, so from here I see, let's see. Okay, from here I see there is a snap ring right in here. We'll try and get that snap ring out, see what happens. Sorry if the camera angles aren't the best. Can't do but so much here. Slipping out. Let's try. It's a little thicker, so these are a little more heavy duty. There we go. Okay, so that snap ring's out. I'll slide this off. Okay. Got that off. Oh, this is gonna be fun. There we go. This last piece should slide right off. And it does. So yeah, that's it as far as taking it off. Just inspect the snout on the compressor. Looks really good. Okay, so this is what we have. That's the rearmost piece. I had this, and then this went down on top of it. But as I was saying, there's some shims in here. There's one, there's another. So we want to retain these shims and, oh, there's three, okay. We'll retain these and put these back when we do the new one. It's not uncommon to have to add or take shims away, but generally you just start with what you have. Being that I'm replacing this with the same exact part, I don't think I have any trouble. I'll just put it back the way it was, I think it'll be fine. But just keep that in mind. As you can see, that stuff was pretty easy to get off. The hardest thing is just getting those snap rings out. And you'll probably want to, the easiest way to get that bolt out is going to be with a stubby impact. The way you don't have to worry about holding it. So yeah, let's, I'm going to lay these new parts out. So we can just kind of compare and make sure everything's the same. Okay, everything looks the same, so we'll go ahead and start putting the stuff back together. Same way it came off. As you can see, it only goes one way. Right there we go, right there. She's on all the way. Okay. Okay. Yeah, she's on there. Okay, there we go. One more snap ring. This will be able to see this one a little bit. One thing to think about when you're putting snap rings on is the nut. That is, the ends on the pliers sometimes will go too far into the eyelet, so think about that. Sometimes you don't want to push them too far in, because then the snap ring can't seat when you get it where it's going. So. Okay. Just gotta put our last part on. Okay. We've already got our shims inside of this piece. Okay. And this bolt has some blue thread locker on it from the factory, so that's what we put back on it. As you can see, it was in there very well, so. Okay, we've got our electrical hooked up. Okay. So now all we gotta do is throw our serpentine belt back on and fire it up. All right, just got it back together. All right, just finished the job up. Got it out here running, checking that everything out. So I assume you're coming to this video because you already know you got a bad clutch, but I forgot to mention, you know, if you don't really know, like one of the first things to mention or to check is if you get AC problems, like with this one, you turn it on, air's blowing out of the vents, so we know your blower motor is good and all that stuff's good, but it's just not getting cold. And generally, like, if you turn the AC on, when you turn the compressor on, you can feel it kind of, the engine will lug a little bit, and you can kind of feel the clutch engage, the compressor engage. But if you don't know, if you turn it on to see if your compressor's coming on, just look at the compressor. If the engine's running, the pulley with the belt on is always going to be turning, but you want to see if that the center part of that pulley is turning, the one with the bolt in it. So if that center pulley, the one with the bolt in the middle, is turning, you know your compressor's locking in. So obviously on this one it wasn't, because that our clutch was bad, so the clutch wasn't engaging, it was just free spinning. Like I said, we tested it, like I showed you earlier how to test it, determined the clutch was bad, swapped it out, I mean, realistically, I might have spent 30 minutes on it. So it's really not a bad deal. Basic hand tools, like I said, the impact's nice, or you have to have a rubber strap wrench maybe to hold that pulley on still so you can get the bolt out. But a stubby impact was nice for that, and you're gonna need some heavy duty snap ring pliers. You can't use those cheap ones. They'll just break or bend. But yeah, that's it. No more indication, problem indication. The light ain't flashing anymore. We got good cold AC. This is out because I was checking some other stuff earlier. But yeah, not a bad job. Hopefully this helped you out. If you got any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll do the best I can to answer them. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Before I go, I noticed that according to my dad, only about 99% of you guys aren't subscribed to the channel. So if you can do that, it'll help me out. I'll be able to make more videos. So anyway, but yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.